1.0 Live example of cash flow forecasting system. In AI, ML, and deep learning, deep neural network, with client invoice dataset and client payment dataset as per payment terms. Please define the input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. Note, we developed an AI model, provided learning clean dataset, for cash flow forecasting. AI models have been designed in Python programming and provided AI model requirements, ML, and deep neural networks. Python program for cash flow. Specifications. Input layers. Historical clean training dataset. 1 client invoices date-wise and payment due date by the client. 2 payments from clients date-wise as per due date. 3 vendor invoices date-wise with payment due date. 4 vendor payment date-wise. 5 as per the chart of expense account payments date-wise. 6 as per the chart of accounts expense payment date-wise. 7 client payment received date-wise. 8 vendor payment date-wise. Hidden layer 5. Output layer. 1 Daily cash flow. Pradeep K. Suri. Author and researcher. I can provide a simplified example of a cash flow forecasting system using AI, ML, and a deep neural network, based on 2 data sets, client invoice and client payment data. In this example, we will use a feed-forward neural network for simplicity. Data preparation. You have 2 data sets, client invoice and client payment. The client invoice dataset contains information about invoices issued to clients, including invoice amount and due date. The client payment dataset contains information about actual payments received from clients, including the payment date. Objective. Predict future cash flow based on the historical data of invoices and payments. Neural network architecture. We will design a simple feed-forward neural network for this task with 1 input layer, 1 or more hidden layers, and 1 output layer. Input layer. The input layer of the neural network will have as many neurons as there are relevant features in your data set. For this example, you can use features such as invoice amount, days until the due date, and any other relevant information. Let's say you have 3 features in your data set, so the input layer will have 3 neurons. Hidden layers. The number of hidden layers and the number of neurons in each hidden layer are hyperparameters that you can experiment with to optimize the model's performance. For simplicity, let's use 2 hidden layers with 16 neurons in the first hidden layer and 8 neurons in the second hidden layer. The choice of the number of neurons and layers can be adjusted based on your dataset and experimentation. Output layer. The output layer will have a single neuron, which will represent the predicted cash flow for a specific time period, example a day, a week, or a month into the future. The output of this neuron will be a numerical value representing the predicted cash flow. Neural network architecture. Input layer, 3 neurons, corresponding to invoice features. Hidden layer 1, 16 neurons, with an activation function like ReLU. Hidden layer 2, 8 neurons, with an activation function like ReLU. Output layer, 1 neuron, no activation function for regression tasks. Training the model. 1. Prepare your dataset by merging the client invoice and client payment data, aligning them by the date. 2. Split your dataset into a training set, a validation set, and a test set. 3. Normalize your input data to ensure all features are on the same scale. 4. Define a loss function suitable for regression tasks, example mean squared error, MSE. 5. Train the neural network using backpropagation with the training data, validating the model's performance on the validation set. 6. Use an appropriate optimization algorithm, example ADAM, SGD, to minimize the loss. 7. Adjust hyperparameters like learning rate, batch size, and the number of epochs to optimize training. Evaluation. Evaluate the trained model on the test set to assess its ability to predict cash flow accurately. Deployment. Deploy the trained model in a production environment where it can accept new invoice data as input and provide cash flow predictions as output. 2.0 An organization's cash flow depends on several key factors, and managing these factors effectively is crucial for its financial health. Some of the primary factors that influence an organization's cash flow include sales and revenue. the amount and timing of sales and revenue generated by the organization are fundamental to cash flow. Increased sales and revenue can contribute positively to cash flow, but delays in receiving payments can lead to cash flow challenges. Accounts receivable, the time it takes for customers to pay their invoices directly affects cash flow. Reducing accounts receivable collection times can help improve cash flow. Accounts payable, managing when and how the organization pays its bills impacts cash flow. Delaying payments to suppliers while maintaining good relationships is a common strategy to preserve cash. Operational expenses, the day-to-day operational expenses, such as rent, utilities, salaries, and materials, influence cash flow. Reducing unnecessary expenses or finding cost-effective solutions can free up cash. Investments and capital expenditures, large capital investments or equipment purchases can impact cash flow negatively in the short term. Evaluating the timing and necessity of these expenditures is essential. Debt service, servicing debt, including interest and principal payments, affects cash flow. Managing debt effectively and refinancing when necessary can alleviate cash flow pressure. Inventory management, maintaining an excessive inventory level ties up cash, while having too little can lead to stockouts and missed sales opportunities. Optimizing inventory levels is critical. Seasonal variations, some businesses experience seasonal fluctuations in cash flow. Preparing for these fluctuations and having adequate cash reserves can help bridge gaps. Economic conditions, broader economic conditions, such as recessions or economic growth, can impact customer demand and supplier pricing, influencing cash flow. Credit and financing, access to credit lines, loans, or other financing options can provide a safety net during periods of cash flow strain. Government regulations, changes in tax laws, regulations, or government policies can affect cash flow by altering expenses or revenue. Customer and supplier relationships, maintaining good relationships with customers can lead to faster payments, while effective supplier relationships can provide more favorable payment terms. Cash flow forecasting, regularly forecasting cash flow helps organizations anticipate and plan for future cash needs and shortfalls. Managing cash flow effectively involves a combination of prudent financial management, strategic decision-making, and adapting to changing business conditions. It's crucial for organizations to monitor these factors closely and implement strategies to maintain healthy cash flow and financial stability. Thanking you.